So it's very rare that you get this type of, shall we say, a cross section of interests, especially for someone like me. I like talking about politics. I really enjoy sort of playing war games, board games, and all kinds of crazy miniature games. Um, and especially today, I get to talk about Stonemaier Games because wow, if there was a company, especially in the board gaming sphere, for like the past couple of years that you could say went from like nothing to like massively successful, then Stonemaier Games is one of those companies that has made so many good games. I mean, Wingspan for one, probably one of like the most successful games they've made. Um, Not only does it have like two spin-off, one with Finspan, which is basically Wingspan but with fish, and then Wormspan, Wingspan but with dragons. Really nice, really quick game. And they've made a ton of different other games as well. As I've said before, really love Scythe. I absolutely adore Scythe. I think Scythe is just such a good board game. There is a reason why it constantly is in like people's either like number one favorite board game of all time or like in their top five. Like I say, I've got it literally all stashed down there. Great board game to play. Expeditions, I have that as well. Very, very good board game as well as a quote pseudo sequel to Scythe as well. Very, very good. Um, I know I've played, where's the other one? Vinculture as well, where you sort of run a vineyard. Very, very good as well. Interesting. But yeah, they've made a lot of games over the years and have been very, 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 very successful. Now, you might be thinking, why on earth are we talking about this? Especially, if you've been paying attention, we've talked about a couple of other board game companies and about the problems that they've been having. And that is because it is, when these Trump tariffs came on, I was like, there's got to be a company, there's got to be an industry somewhere that is really going to be hit by these tariffs. It'd be interesting to see what that industry does. And to my surprise, delight, and of course, horror, it was the board gaming industry in particular that has really been hit by these Trump tariffs. And this has now led to, well, this. Yes, Stonemaier Games, we are suing the president. So, before we get more into this, please remember to click on the like, share, and of course the subscribe button down below. Of course, there is the Patreon page. There's the one-off donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee. There's the YouTube thank you button, and of course, as always, there's the Pony Club down below as well. So, you may remember a couple of weeks ago we did about the company called Zero G Games, brand new sort of system that we were making, all going to be entirely made in America. If you may remember that video, just making things in America was hugely going to be causing lots of problems for them, massive problems for them. Even if you decide to move manufacturing to America, doesn't solve all the problems. In fact, in many cases, makes it even worse, makes it even more expensive. So now we're going to have a look at what, like I say, what Stonemaier's ultimate response to this is. They are now, well, yeah, we're going to sue the president. They're joining a class action lawsuit to sue the president. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. So let's crack on then into this. So we are joining a lawsuit that will challenge the president's now unchecked authority to impose tariffs. We will not stand idly by while our livelihoods and the livelihoods of thousands of small business owners and contractors in the US, along with customers whose pursuit of happiness we hold dear, are treated like pawns in a political game. Like I say, Jeremy, the guy who runs Stonemaier, oh boy. Yeah. You're very, 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 very much sort of a liberal. Ever since these tariffs have come in, he's been doing a lot of blogs, just like how damaging these tariffs are going to be, how much damage it's going to do to the industry. We covered the last, like I say, a couple of weeks ago, Zero G, what was going to be happening with all that, and now it's just like, well, I've had enough. We're going to join a class action lawsuit on this. So, like many tabletop publishers, the import code 9504 dash 90 dash 60066 asterisk, we of course started print runs of products well before the president took office, and now we've now faced an unprecedented $14.50 tariff tax for every $10 we spend on manufacturing with our trusted long-term partner in China. I mean, imagine that. Imagine that every $10 Stonemaier Games spends in China, they are now facing a tariff tax of 14 for pretty much $14. That is insane. That margin for any profit wiped off. I can guarantee you'll probably end up talking about it a bit later, but and under that there is no profit. And what do you do then with all those games that you're currently printing? It's insane. For Stonemaier Games alone, a US-based company which employs 8 employees and all are currently US citizens, that amounts to the upcoming tariff payments of nearly $1.5 million. Gee, just imagine that. You're like a company like this, and you turn around, it's like, oh yeah, that's $1.5 million. Just crazy. Absolutely crazy on this. So if these tariffs are currently damaging your business as well, please contact me and I will connect you to the law firm. There is no cost to join the lawsuit. So, they are, I can guarantee you now, they are rallying people to talk about all the businesses they can. If your business is hurt, we're going to go and sue the president. Like this is a lawsuit to watch. This is one lawsuit to watch. So I will try to lead with compassion and empathy. So legal action is, of course, very low on my list of ways to handle very difficult situations. But with this now the new norm of 145% tariff imposed by the president on all exports from China to the US, including products that have already been in the manufacturing process for months, we are compelled to take action. Of course, this isn't the only action that we are taking, as we have currently 200,000 units of reprints and 50,000 units of Vantage, plus 75,000 other Vantage accessories currently ready to ship out for Shenzhen in just a few weeks. Here's what else we're trying to do in regards to those fully manufactured products. So, we're selling to other countries. Around 35% of our annual sales are to distributors, retailers, and customers outside the US. We ship directly from China to those distributors and fulfillment centers, so the tariffs will not impact our prices in those regions. So, again, not surprising this as well. If you are an American company, then yeah, why sell back into your own home market? After all, there's now that 145% tariff you've now got to get around. So you're going to see companies desperately trying to sell to other countries. We are now storing the US quantities in China. So not even that. You are just going to go, well, tell you what, we'll just store everything that's currently meant for the US in China for the moment, and we'll just let it stock up for a while. We'll just see what happens. I mean, why not? Anyway, for now, we will pay for warehousing in China's to store most of the US bound products in the hopes that these tariffs will decrease by the time that they are needed for inventory to replenish our supply in the US. Just imagine that. That's even more insane when you think about just the logistical cost of just storing something in a warehouse, just sitting there, hoping that these tariffs are going to be over or decrease. Just, I mean, you can understand why he's suing, because if you are forced into that situation, Yeah, you can understand why he's suing. We are currently sending any out of stock US quantities to the US. Finspan is currently out of stock in the US, so we are now proceeding to send the restock currently as scheduled. We will eat most of the tariff cost, which more than doubles our cost to try and minimize the impact on distributors, retailers, and consumers. And I guarantee you now, they are lucky that they can do that. They are probably Stonemaier is probably a very lucky situation. It can do that, but it can't do that forever. It literally cannot do that forever. It can't do that for every time it needs a restock, a reprint to get stuff from China into America. That might be a one-time only thing. But not every company can just absorb the cost of tariffs indefinitely. Maybe once, in the hope that, oh, look, we'll hope, you know, we'll hope that, you know, this will continue, or at least this will have gone away by the time we need to do another restock. Or if it's not, you've really got to live on a hope and prayer that those tariffs aren't there. We are also now sending direct sale vantage to the US. I've spent far too long trying to make this game affordable that I am not going to let just one person with unchecked power get in the way of me now serving my customers. The tariffs have now have had a slight impact on the US price, but the plan is to now largely keep our direct price and the very same, give customers the option now to cover the tariff cost at the checkout. The plan is to release Vantage now to the US distribution, and the May, of course, retail may need a delay. The lack of margins there have now a bigger impact on a new game than on reprints. So, right there, we've got a new game out called Vantage. It's a brand new game. We're hoping to try and keep it at cost. But you may remember a couple of weeks ago when we did that thing about, oh yeah, US customers may now have to go from like a $60 board game to maybe 100, maybe even 200, depending on how big that board game is. How many people are now going to play that game, especially when it's a new board game. Especially when it's a new board game. Stonemaier has a big advantage that it is a well-known company. They've got a really good community. They know that Stonemaier make good games. There are people who will just buy every single Stonemaier game because they know it is going to be a good game. I know people at the club that will that I'm part of do that anyway. Regardless, they will just go, "Oh yeah, we're buying that." This is why, oh, made by Stonemaier. It's a good game. Just Stonemaier, they've got their reputation. But even if it's a new game, that will eat into your cost. That will eat into maybe people wanting to purchase that new game. If it's a reprint, well, that's because people know they want to buy it. I go back to a game called, where is it now? Sheriff of Nottingham. Sheriff of Nottingham Second Edition got a reprint during the pandemic in 2020. Insanely hard to get a hold of that copy at that time. I got really lucky that I just happened to drop on a copy. Really lucky that I happened to get a lucky drop on a copy of it. But yeah, like I say, a lot of people, if that is, and they are going to do that, how long can they keep going for that? Not even Stonemaier can just go, yeah, we'll eat the costs. You can't do that indefinitely. No company can. So again, these strategies are currently focused on products we have already manufactured. So this currently counts for everything they've manufactured. Anything future that they might want to manufacture, like a new game or new stuff, well, get ready for a big price increase. So as the tariffs did not carve out a grace period now for such products, we are at least fortunate to have a buffer at Stonemaier Games to now weather this storm. Again, not many others are. They are very lucky to be in that position. And my heart goes out to the many other small businesses in the US and beyond who have invested their now resources in products that they can no longer afford to bring into the US. And then see also the darkest timeline, the impact of tariffs when they were 54%, the math of tariffs, how tariffs impact the cost and prices along the entire supply chain, tariff history, the timeline that shows when the US started and escalated the tariffs. Tariffs are costing Americans jobs, Americans money, and killing creativity. The state of tariffs and crowdfunding for board games, the game of tariffs, why you're forced to pay it. The Trump tariffs may stop Gloomhaven from reaching retail stores in the US. So, yeah, insane. But that's where they are. And it doesn't surprise me. Does not surprise me that you are seeing this. But I'll tell you this, very interesting to watch what happens with this lawsuit. Very interesting indeed. Because if they succeed, then what? Is Trump gonna lower these tariffs? I don't think so. Remember, these tariffs, Trump is using um, national security. Like that's what he's using to justify these tariffs. I'm using these tariffs to, it's a national emergency. This is why I've got to do this. Congress is the only one that has the power to keep these tariffs in. No one's going to pass these. No one is going to pass these. Democrats aren't. Most Republicans, I can guarantee you, probably aren't. They know these tariffs are insane. Trump is now currently running around trying to do all these crazy trade deals in like less than 90 days. He ain't going to do it. He ain't going to do it. Good luck. That's what our government tried during Brexit. And guess what? They didn't succeed. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, we've got a quote. It's not a trade deal, as our government keeps on saying, even though America says otherwise. Our government comes out and says, no, it's not a trade deal. It's a what do they keep on calling it now? It's a it's a something deal, like a prosperity deal. That's it. It's an economic prosperity deal. What even does that mean? What does even that mean? Oh yeah, it's because again, America keeps coming out saying, "Oh yeah, we're doing a trade deal with the UK," but every single time you hear the UK people say it's not a trade deal; it's an economic prosperity deal. Sounds to me a lot like a memorandum of understanding, which means, yeah, we'll sign this piece of paper, but it's really meaningless. It's just meaningless. Oh, dearie me. Anyway, we'll see what happens on this front. But yeah, board games. If you're in America, probably about to become a heck of a lot more expensive. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.